and right now we've got 30-mile-per-hour gusts even right here in Austin. So the wind is in place, the Gulf of Mexico moisture is in place. We just need a trigger to get those storms going. And I don't think we're going to see severe, but I do think strong possible, maybe low end severe. It just doesn't scream to be a big severe weather event, but we might get some beneficial rain and perhaps enough to cause some flooding. You can always track any storms with our CBS Austin Storm Tracker weather app. So let's fast forward to Sunday. May see some morning drizzle, and then the afternoon, the front's still well to our north. We could see some storms roll in late. Then the front may actually push through our area, not until Monday afternoon. So because it's such a slow moving front, that's what could be what delivers us that beneficial rain. Maybe a strong storm along the way and much cooler air behind the front. What would you say if I told you there is potential that we could erase not only our April rain deficit, but possibly even our annual rain deficit with one storm? It is possible. Right now, I've got a 100% chance of rain on Monday. How much? Still in question. But, you know, we've only had 8/100ths of an inch so far at Camp Mabry this month. We're 1.5 inches below average, nearly 3 inches below average this year. Drum roll, please. This is a very bullish computer model, but several runs have been somewhat high, as in 3 inches high. Not to say that's what we'll see, because on the other end of the spectrum, we might only see a 1/2 inch to an inch. But if that's all we get, that's still a multitude more than what we've had so far. Bottom line, beneficial rain likely. How much? Still yet to be seen. I want you to tune in this weekend. Austin Berks will have updates going on. Oh, hi, Simeon. I have no idea why it is posting your comment times 3. Interesting. So the reason I'm on so late is because I was extremely frustrated with not having everything work properly yesterday. So I've been fiddling around and I thought I had it figured out. But you guys are appearing 3 times every single time. How weird is that? Oh, I just remembered. I think I know why. Okay, I'm going to unlink these. Okay, I just unlinked it. And I think, look at you guys. I can't believe how many of you guys are awake. All right, so what I did is I just unlinked the comments. Somebody write something to me. And maybe since I unlinked it, I think maybe instead of it putting it, because what I did is I put the same Facebook comment thing in 3 different scenes. So my thought process is if I unlink it, then it won't put it 3 times, it'll just put it in once. So I just need someone to write something to prove my theory. So I hit unlink and Hanson shows up 3 times. All right. Well, 3 times is better than 0 times, right? Ironically enough, just as I was getting ready to do this, the weather computer that I was logged into, I didn't plug it in. I mean, my computer that I was logged into the work computer in, I didn't have it plugged in. So it just went black because it ran out of battery. So we'll see what it'll show. I don't even know. Let's give it a shot. But anyway, hello times 3 to everybody. And I worked really hard to tweak the audio settings so that the music would be low, so that my microphone would be high. And most importantly, my husband had been telling me that, well, our bedroom is, well, the living room's right below me, but our bedroom is right below me and back this way. And so my husband was saying in the past when I was doing the chat that he would hear me. So what I had to tweak was my microphone up as high as it'll go so that I'm not talking loudly, so that I can still have you hear me. At the same time, because I was super frustrated by the music, you may notice I've got these headphones in. So these Bluetooths are actually monitoring the audio feed. So I can actually now hear the music. But I can also hear myself, and it's delayed. So if I ever sound like I'm like weirded out by the audio, it's because I'm hearing myself delayed by like 2 seconds maybe. So anyway, it's weird. But I'm glad that you can hear me over the music, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, oh, and by the way, I'm sure you noticed the Skippy can. He's right next to me, asleep, like most normal people should be. Oh, yeah. Computer's just saying it's, let's see if I can work this. Oh, yeah, I can work it. There you go. Okay. So now, hopefully you guys can see the computer, at least, the weather computer. I'm just going to only have the 7-day forecast up because I'm not able to manipulate the other computer that logged out. But at least you can see the 7-day forecast. So overall, I feel pretty good about this. Oh, except your chats aren't showing up. Can somebody type something in so I can see if it's working? Huh. Because your comments should appear right there in this box. But I don't see any. Oh, you know what? I'm smart. I'm gonna grab my phone and type my comment to myself and see if it pops up. Oh. Oh no, I was like, what's that sound? It's from my phone. Okay, so, hi everyone. Curses. It is not showing up. So maybe I have to have it linked from the other source. Huh. Okay. I'm just double checking because it worked on the other part. Let me see if it works on this. Oh, it's weird it's gone. That could be part of it. Maybe when I push the unlink button. Okay. That's so weird. Okay. But fear not. We're going to make this work. Give me half a second. All right. Hopefully that did something. And now let me do one more thing. Okay. YouTube is added back. Now Facebook. Rick, I can't believe you guys are up at this late hour. All right. And I think I'm going to have to unplug my, because I am not good at hearing myself. There it is. Whose birthday is it, Hanson? Whoever's birthday it is, happy birthday. Oh. You don't celebrate numbers. Okay. This isn't a good, okay, I've got to take these out. This is a good development, you guys. Maybe if I put in just one of these, it won't bother me that much. Give it a shot. But comment only appeared one time. So now let me check one more time. Hey, y'all. And let's see if it works. Okay. Thank goodness for little tiny conquests, favors. Okay, no, I can't deal with this. I'm hearing myself delayed and it's bothering me a lot. Okay. Robert, I can't believe that first of all, I can't believe your phone woke you up, or hopefully you weren't already awake. Or, I mean, you know what I mean. Hopefully you were still awake. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked you guys are all on at, dark 30. Yes, Hanson Red Poppy Fest. I was thinking about it today, in fact. I used to come every year and take the girls, and we would do the little art projects for kids at the Georgetown Arts Center. We would go and visit all things kids and get ice cream and candy and just take in all of the booths and all that kind of thing. Always fun. Loved the parade and listening to the band, so that should be really nice. It's so funny. I think I had gotten so used to listening and hearing the music, but then my voice was throwing me up that now I'm kind of like, wow, it's so quiet here. What's going on? So anyway, Danny, this is your birthday? Francisco, what's going on? You'd think there was severe weather or something with the number of people who are awake. I'm like, what? What are you doing? Pam says you think the weather coming is keeping you. You think so? Because it's like, well, I mean, it's windy out there, but aside from that, it's not all that bad. For me, it's a Friday night, and I always feel like I run out of time because my alarm goes off at 6:15 during the weekdays. And so once I hit like 1:30 or at worst 2 o'clock, I turn into a pumpkin. I have to get to bed. Otherwise, like, I'm going to be worthless for the next day. But in this case, I'm like, well, hey, it's not a school night. So my husband went to bed like at a reasonable hour, like midnight. He walks in his crate. As you can see, Skippy's right here, right next to me on the Skippy cam. And so I was like, I got nothing going on. I don't have to work until Monday. I'm just going to futz around and play with this thing and work out all the kinks and make it better, because that's the whole goal. So things that we've done is tweaked audio. Go ahead and complain. I'm in a much better mindset tonight than I was last night. Last night I was so frustrated. Nothing was working the way I wanted it to, and I felt like I was just like, ugh. Tonight, however, I'm in a much better mindset where I'm like, okay, let's tackle these problems, let's face them head on, and let's make things right. So it's good. Faith, you're on. Danny says Skippy is something of a misnomer because he's not skipping, he's sleeping. Sleepy, we'll call him Sleepy. Robert, I was bummed out. You know why? It's just because I think I know I'm a bit of a perfectionist, even though I realize I'm a human being and I'm not perfect. Anytime someone points out to me the things that I know are already wrong, I was just like, yeah, I know. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yep. And at the same time in my head, I was like, I don't know if I can troubleshoot this and make it right, because I knew it would take a while. Hence the fact that I'm on at 2:30 this morning, finally having put the pieces together. So Pam says, will we sleep better once the rain? You will sleep better once the rain gets here. Hey, why don't we at least briefly talk about the weather? I'm not going to use the weather computer just because, as I mentioned earlier, the particular laptop that I had logged in, unfortunately, I didn't bring the plug up, and so it was running off just the regular laptop battery, and it's gone. It's actually a miracle that my microphone battery is working, because I was trying multiple ways of setting the audio up to where the ambient sound was super low, but where my microphone was super high. So I'm actually not talking very loudly at all, and when I was listening to it on my earphones, it sounded like it was actually coming through just fine, which is good. Pam says, glad to find you. Boy, thank you. Moved back from Fort Worth and came to Austin. I appreciate you checking in. And thank you. You know, maybe it was a good sign for me to come on in the middle of the night. To get compliments like that, hello. Oh, and Hanson says your parents made it to the Foreigner concert. How about that? That's cool. Danny says, just own it, you're a craftsperson. I like, you know what it is? I like being good at things. And when I have an idea and I'm like, oh, I'm going to try something, and when it doesn't work, I get frustrated. And initially I'm like, okay, what can I do to make it work? And I try and be like really methodical and plug away. But then sometimes I just hit my limit, whether it be tired or just spent or whatever. And so last night I was kind of like, nope, I'm not even going to try to fix it right now, because I was just so bummed about the fact that it wasn't working. Francisco, what does Nebraska have to do with any of this? Tom checking in from Tennessee. What's up, Tom? Thank you for checking in tonight. Oh, I'm so glad to see the Facebook comments are at least working, so this is good. All right, So obviously you can see the 7-day forecast there before you. The big thing that we're going to be talking about real quick, Bill Bergen, what's going on, Bob Sloan? Okay, are you sure it's not like 10 in the morning? Because too many people are chiming in at 2:41. Why are you all awake at this hour? Like, what is going on here? Oh boy. Simeon says, believe it's been 2 months since the Rams finally delivered a Super Bowl. Honestly, time flies so much. I can't believe it's almost May. Like, this is just beyond me. It's so crazy. All right, so I'm going to flip us over to my other computer, and we're going to take a look at some of the new, latest, greatest things that have come out in the middle of the night, okay? Believe it or not, there are things happening at ODark 30. All right, so here are the things that I need to do. I need to take this off, and I think this will do the trick. And oh, I don't know if this will do the trick. Stand by. See, I always find new things where I'm like, I thought I had something figured out, and then it throws a curveball at me. And a lot of it is because each of these different scenes I have linked so that when in order to make everything like kind of sort of seamless, I will copy and paste different elements. And so I have a feeling that I may have copied and pasted myself too much. Okay, this will work. Not exactly what I had in mind, but this will work. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what we're working with, we do have a wind advisory that's still in effect. And I never thought that I would actually be awake when the wind advisory was coming to an end. But here we are at 2:44 in the morning. I'm still awake. And guess what? The wind advisory expires for Mason County at 3 a.m. and for Llano and Fredericksburg at 4 a.m. So that was one thing I wanted to mention. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is we got the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. This is for Saturday's severe weather outlook, and just to give you an idea, the marginal risk, which is the green, is way out west. So Saturday, oh, I take it back. Stand by. There's even a newer one that's come out since then. So let's go through here. Here we go. This is the Saturday severe weather risk. So only just a little tiny sliver right here of Mason County is included in the level 1 marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. Wait a second, Hanson, how come you're showing up 3 times again? What happened? I thought we had this figured out. Now you're showing up 3 times with every comment. Really? I don't understand that. It was fine. It was just showing you once, and all of a sudden now it's showing everybody 3 times. Sigh. It's okay. Again, you guys probably aren't expecting much at 3 in the morning anyway. I decided to round up because 2:45 sounded like it wasn't nearly late enough. So anyway, Saturday more than likely will be a mainly dry day, maybe a little bit of a patchy drizzle in the morning, and that's pretty much it. But the farther west you go, out toward Del Rio, for instance, there is a chance of seeing some showers and storms, possibly. Okay, let's look at the day 2 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And here you go for Sunday. The risk of severe thunderstorms, level 1 out of 5, is in the hill country. If you were watching at 10 o'clock on Friday night, which was, what, a mere 5 hours ago? Isn't this crazy that we're still up at this hour? At 10 o'clock at night, the risk was all the way into Austin for Sunday, which I kind of thought probably wasn't realistic given the fact that computer models are kind of slowed down a little bit. So I actually, honestly, truly don't think we're probably going to see much, if any, severe weather. I think there'll be storms that are strong. I think this is just as a precaution, but several of the ingredients that you would need for legit severe weather really aren't coming together, in my opinion, with this Sunday night to Monday event. Namely, instability. If you look at, we always call it convective available potential energy CAPE. If you look at the instability, it's not crazy high. And that's one of the things that I was checking out, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't excite me. So I'll be honest with you, I will be surprised if we see much, if any, severe weather, but I do think we're going to see some strong storms. Okay, and then, since we've been up so late, this one just came out at 2:08 this morning, and it is the day 3 risk of severe thunderstorms. This would be for Monday. So Monday, this is the area shaded in a level 1 of 5 severe weather risk, and it does include Austin. So again, what I was thinking is that we might see a strong storm or two, but it doesn't necessarily look like a widespread severe weather event kind of thing. All right, so let's take a look at some computer model information. So I'm going to go to the GFS computer model, and I'm going to plot the total precipitation. This is something that we did yesterday when it first was looking pretty bullish on how much rain we could get. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump to look at the rainfall totals. So this is through Tuesday. And as you can see, Austin is basically in a big bullseye. Pam's and Kyle, hey, and it's plotting you guys 3 times. Thrice the fun, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the latest and greatest computer model potential rainfall totals. Austin, 2.5 inches. This same computer model earlier was showing 3 inches. And prior to that, it was showing 5 inches about 36 hours ago. So we're still in the ballpark. It still looks like heavy rain. In this instance, it appears that the heaviest might actually be into Bastrop County. Look at this. There's some possible 4-inch totals, maybe even, some 5-inch totals as you head toward, let's say in Giddings, it looks like 3.6, Bastrop about 4.2, heading up north toward Elgin, maybe about 4.1. So this is some pretty impressive rainfall. Looking out east into Lee County, 3.6, southeastern Williamson County, 4.1. Since Pam's in Kyle, let's check in and see how Kyle's looking. 2.3. I mean, that's a lot of rain. So we have potential here of getting in on a significant amount of rain. So I'll widen out the view. And what's interesting is if you were to buy into this particular computer model, the GFS, that's the American computer model, it basically has a bullseye right over the CBS Austin area. And you might be wondering why. Well, my supposition is that it's because the slow-moving cold front that's going to be pushing through on Monday, it may be to our north Monday morning, and by Monday afternoon, it may be only around our area, and then by Monday night, it may not be much farther to the south. So because of the fact that it's moving so incredibly slowly, it's going to be dropping rain along the way, maybe some heavy rain. And so that could be what ends up yielding some pretty impressive rainfall totals. Hanson says some sprinkles in a shower last week, but nothing much. Bluebonnets didn't last more than a couple weeks. I've seen bluebonnets here and there, but I do think that the season is a little shorter just because of the fact that they're so dry. All right, so let's presume that this computer model's onto something. Now, instead of looking at the total precipitation, let's take a look at the basically the hour-by-hour precipitation. So I'm going to start, ooh, it does look heavy. Let's go ahead and start with right now, Saturday, 1 a.m., and just showing cloud cover. Now let's go to 7 a.m. Patchy clouds. Let's go to 1 p.m. Still pretty quiet. So Saturday is looking like a pretty quiet day. Remember, there's that small chance that we see some storms try to fire up as we head through Saturday evening. So it looks like there may be some that try to develop to the west of the Fort Worth area. This is 10 p.m. on Saturday. And here is 1 a.m. on Sunday. So yes, you can see what could be a weak little line of storms developing. And this is at about 1 a.m. on Sunday. So let's go ahead and go through time. Let's push it out to Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ken's awake too. How's it going? So many people here on the stream. It's amazing. Welcome, welcome. I know it's the middle of the night, but I appreciate you guys being on board. I'm totally shocked that so many people would be. Here's a look at 7 p.m. on Sunday. So most of Saturday and most of Sunday should be totally dry in Austin. Here's Sunday 10 p.m. Let me go back one more frame. So this is 7 p.m. and this is 10 p.m. So if you were to buy into this, you're vampires. What does that make me then? So if at 10 p.m. we start to see some storms fire up in the hill country already, and this would be ahead of the actual cold front itself, that might start the rainfall accumulation process already. Okay, so here's a look at 1 a.m. on Monday morning. So after midnight Sunday night into early Monday, and there's a pretty good slug of moisture that's pulling across areas of Williamson and Burnett counties. Now let's look at 4 a.m. So by 4 a.m., everything kind of fizzles. And this is just my supposition, just looking at this. I have a hunch that by this time, this is 7 a.m. Monday, I have a hunch that the actual cold front is more like out here. So all of the storms that we see in advance on Sunday night are going to be what we call prefrontal. They'll be ahead of the actual cold front. So the front itself may be up around the DFW area at 7 a.m. on Monday, and we'll just be waiting for it to move in. So let's say that at 7 a.m. on Monday, we're kind of in a little bit of a lull as we wait for that front to arrive. Here's a look at 10 a.m., still fairly quiet. And here's a look at 1 p.m. Monday. So by 1 o'clock on Monday, we are in full-on rain coming down mode. So just to zoom in for you, we're talking heavy rain potential all the way through Travis and Williamson and Bell and Milam and parts of Burnett and Blanco and even Gillespie County could be getting in on some pretty good solid rainfall. So too funny. It just told me I entered full screen mode, but I don't know how to get out of full screen mode. What do I do to get out of full screen mode? Oh, there it is. I'm out of full screen mode now. Okay, so let's keep on going. Here is 4 p.m. on Monday. Okay, so it looks as though apparently we have a random question from YouTube about trash bags. So 4 o'clock on Monday, potentially we could see some of the heaviest rain of this whole event pushing through, and it does look like the heaviest per this computer model is in those spots that I had mentioned in parts of Bastrop and Lee and eastern Williamson and southwest Milam counties getting the heaviest of the rain. So that would mean Monday afternoon. Margaret's awake. Hey, hey. By Monday afternoon, we could be it could be raining cats and dogs. Here's Monday evening, and finally, my supposition is that by Monday evening, the front is dropping to the south, heading towards San Antonio, for instance, and the heaviest rain is moving to the south by this point. But as you can see, it does look like a pretty heavy amount of rain that would be pushing through. So then let's look toward, look at, when everything clears out. So here is 10 p.m. on Monday, and by this point it looks like the majority of the steady heavy rain has dropped south of I-10 and is heading closer to the coastline. And now let's go ahead and look at 1 a.m. Tuesday just to see how long this may linger. And then looking toward 4 a.m. Tuesday, 7 a.m. Tuesday, and 10 a.m. Tuesday. So it does look like this is just going to be basically a late Sunday night into Monday event, and by Tuesday we're back to dry weather. But what a doozy of an event this potentially could be. So it's not set in stone, but it is most definitely intriguing when you see that there potentially could be very heavy rain. Look, Bob's caffeinating with the iced coffee. At some point, I'm going to have to go to sleep, I think, but at least for now, I'm kind of glad that we sort of figured this out, and I can handle having triplicate comments on your part. I think I'm okay with that, all things considered. It's, there are worse things in the world. Oh, you know what? I might be able to fix this. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to hit refresh and see what happens. All right, so I refreshed and we'll see. I know, Margaret, I am up late even for me. Long story short, well, for one, the fact that I was so frustrated yesterday because I wasn't able to get this to work exactly like I wanted to. And so I had time. Normally I'm so rushed, I'm so busy with life. And so for me, I was kind of like, yay, I don't have anything going on. Kids are asleep, husband's asleep. As you can see, Skipper's asleep. I'll probably bug him if I pet him. And so I just figured I would just start playing around. I did, I disturbed him. I'd start playing around and trying to fix the stuff that was bugging me that wasn't working correctly. So, oh, Bob only sent one comment. Yeah, it's every time you send a comment, it's for whatever reason posting 3 times. I don't even know. Aw, Margaret says I heart Skipper. He's a sweetheart. And then Ewok is downstairs in his crate. So Pam says you've enjoyed your food of the day post. Thank you. Hey, you know what the posts are going to be for Saturday? Well, actually, there are 2 food holidays that I know of. One is cherry cheesecake day, and the other one is German beer day. So we are actually going to go pick up some German style beer at a brewery. So that's what we'll be celebrating. And so I'm kind of looking forward to it. Weekends, for the longest time, while we were short-staffed, I was only off 1 day a week, and I found that if you only have 1 day off during the week, or 1 day off a week, you really don't ever catch up, because I would find that 1 day would be the day I tried to cram all the chores in, and I just didn't have time to do anything fun. Francisco says chocoholic here. That's not a bad thing to be. And so having 2 days off a week, I'm kind of oh, this is fantastic. So it's giving me so many options of, well, I'll do these chores now, and then I'll go do something fun, and then I'll do those chores later, and then I'll do something fun. And even, running, I usually try to do a long run, on the weekends, and my goal is always to do at least 10 miles, sometimes more. And so tonight when I got home from work, I was like, am I going to do my long run tomorrow, as in Saturday, or Sunday? And I kind of decided when I was going to play around with the with this Facebook Live thing and make sure I got it all figured out, that I was going to go ahead and do my run on Sunday, because by the time I wake up after going to sleep finally tonight, it'll be way too warm, I'm pretty much convinced. So, Hanson, I've driven by Wrench Brewery. I know they have an outpost on the square too, but they've got the one that's way up closer to the toll road too, right? Francisco says, you have a housekeeper. I would be said housekeeper in our household. We have separation of chores. I've talked about this before. I am the laundry girl. I do the floors. I'm vacuum, mop. Those are my things. But yeah, laundry, fold, wash, all that stuff. And I'm also the lawn girl. I don't know about you guys. I think doing the lawn is so therapeutic. So that's one of the things I got to do tomorrow. I got to mow. The grass is kind of starting to get out of control. So, given that it's just past Earth Day, 1 year ago on Earth Day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to invest in some earth-friendly yard work stuff. So, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the interchangeable battery electric. I guess it's electric. It's rechargeable battery tools that you can get that all run off the same batteries. So I've got the lawnmower, and I've got the leaf blower and the hedge trimmer, and I have the little pole thing that you can do the weed whacker or the edger. You just pull it out and attach the next thing and throw the battery on there. I kid you not, I could spend the whole day just playing around with battery operated tools. It's so fun. So anyway, I'm the yard girl. Margaret says yard work is relaxing. I will say I love doing the mowing and all that kind of thing because you get instant gratification. What I do not like though is when you see the weeds that are popping up and you really can't control them, and it's been so windy, it's just like they're everywhere, so everywhere. And Hanson, I am far from a landscape queen, but I'm trying to learn. My mom was always my mom's a green thumb. She can make, hi Skippy, she can make anything grow. And I always felt like I could make anything die, even like houseplants. She would give me a houseplant and I would promptly kill it with my lack of watering or overwatering. I'm good at both. So yeah, but I actually do like doing yard work. It's kind of fun. Connie, hello. You said you had lots of German beer at Epcot 2 weeks ago. That would be super fun. So anyway, I digress. We can talk about food holidays all we want and yard work and everything else. It's so easy for me to get carried away. So let's look next at some severe weather stuff. So one of the things I was mentioning to you that was kind of my inclination that we probably wouldn't have too many good ingredients for severe weather with this upcoming heavy rain event. So what we're looking at is the instability, the CAPE, the convective available potential energy. Let me scroll back through time, and we're going to look at Sunday night into Monday morning. And you can see that there's plentiful green over the Austin area, which corresponds to about 1,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. Typically, that's sufficient for maybe some low-end severe thunderstorms. But when we have our big severe weather outbreaks, our big times, all that stuff, yes. Charles, I can't believe well, actually, you work weird hours, so I can believe that you're awake. But yeah, Skipper's chilling out, doing his thing, got the Skippy cam kicking. Typically, if I were looking at significant severe weather, I would want that number that you can see that says 1244. I would want that to be higher than that. Theoretically, you can probably have a non-severe thunderstorm with as little as 500 joules per kilogram. Weird units for meteorological things. But anyway, I'm going to say this is kind of on the marginal end of things, but let's keep going through time and see if it does get higher. So that was at 1 a.m. Monday. Here's 4 a.m. There's 7 a.m. And this is 10 a.m. So I'm starting to notice some higher instability as we head through Monday. Let me go ahead and look at Monday afternoon, and that kind of coincides with when we have the highest heavy rainfall. So you'll notice that this is 4 o'clock on Monday. By 4 o'clock on Monday, the best instability, the best juice for storms is starting to sink farther to the south. So this is one of the things where I'm kind of like, it doesn't scream at me as being, a big severe weather setup. It looks more like a slow moving cold front, some strong storms, and some heavy rain along the way. Francisco, yes, there is music. It's very low. We determined last night that apparently there was an offset between the volume of the music being too loud and the volume of me talking being too soft. So I have my microphone pegged at max, and I have the volume of the music very low. So, in case you're wondering what it sounds like, I will actually turn it up for you a little bit. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, I can hear the music. Okay, so ready? Here goes. It's kind of a nice music, isn't it? It's like soothing. All right. There, now I made it nice and low. It's my soundtrack. Well, what it's called is free music that doesn't have copyright stuff to where they'll complain. Because if you use any of the popular music that has, people have rights to, then you get in trouble if you use it on stuff like this. In fact, Facebook will even mute it or even take it down, or sometimes there's other, repercussions. So this is music that was free and doesn't have copyrights. So there you go. Let's go back and look at a couple other things. So I'm kind of meh on potential for severe thunderstorms. Let's look at what's called the Supercell composite. In this instance, the brighter the color, for instance, if we get into greens, yellows, reds, purples, the higher the potential that we have supercell thunderstorms. Of course, supercell thunderstorms are storms that rotate and that can sometimes drop tornadoes and big hail and all that whole 9 yards. Charles says you're in Woodville, had watched high school baseball games. Oh, that's right. You told me that he was a coach. Fantastic. Congratulations to your son. That's great news. Awesome. So let's go ahead and kind of do the same thing. We'll take a look at supercell thunderstorm potential with the same event. And I'm going to start by looking at Sunday morning, and you can see that we basically have nothing going on. Let's advance to 10 a.m. Sunday. Now let's look at 1 a.m. Sunday, 1 a.m. Monday, I should say. And here's 7 a.m. So the whole time Austin is in this gray color, which is in the lowest of low. The really good potential for supercell thunderstorms is where you've got the numbers that are higher. And even green isn't that impressive. So the higher the number, the better the chance of supercell thunderstorms. So as an example, let's see what it is right now. Okay, so here is a good example. Currently, there are values of 31 right along where the dry line is out west, or into western sections of Kansas and Nebraska. So those numbers are things that would be alarming, that would make you say, whoa, we got stuff going on. And in fact, we actually do have stuff going on. There are numerous warnings earlier, and actually I can show you on radar scope. It looks like there's severe thunderstorm warnings in Kansas primarily. But let's go ahead. Oh, and there's one in Texas. So let's take a look real quick, and I can show you the areas of thunderstorms that are currently ongoing. So we've got a line of thunderstorms that's moving through the Texas Panhandle. This is north and east of Amarillo. Most of these are hailers. They've been pretty prolific hailers. And then as we head to the north a little bit, this is western Kansas. So there's a pretty continuous line of thunderstorms rolling through western Kansas. And something worth noting is along the way, if you see these little icons here, like I'm clicking on, each one of these icons that has the little thing that looks like it's turning, that's showing a rotating storm. And along the way, there was a little indicator that said meso strength. Whenever I clicked on it, the higher the number, the more likelihood that there's what we call a mesocyclone, and the stronger the mesocyclone, the better the chance that there could be a possible tornado that could develop from said storm. So in this instance, a meso that's over 7,000 is actually pretty good. Typically, anything higher than about 3,000, I'm like, oh, got to watch this thing really closely. And so why not? Let's take a look at the velocity of this just to see what it looks like, because that can be a good indicator of that rotation within the storms. So this is going to show I was thinking it would show some pretty decent rotation, but instead it doesn't really pop out at me, just looking from this view anyway. But anyway, there are big storms in other spots. Let me see, are there any other warnings? It's Kansas, 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 and Nebraska. So let me go ahead and hop to the one up in Nebraska so we can see the northernmost extent of the storms. And here we are looking through Nebraska and Kansas, and yeah, there's some more nasty storms rolling on through and some warnings. Right now this is in pretty low population areas, but eventually these storms are going to try to, if they hold together, they'll make it into some of the more populated areas farther to the east. And there were actually some thunderstorms up in South Dakota earlier that were pretty nasty as well. Anyway, yeah, we got stuff going on. All right, I digress. I think it's time to call it a night. It's after 3, but I appreciate you guys helping me out yet again with kind of looking at the setup, and the ultimate goal for me is that I want to make sure, oh, and by the way, we can look at the, let's look at this. Let's look at the categorical severe weather stuff. And I'm going to we'll do this. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the severe weather area for Sunday, that puts the Austin area in just a general thunderstorm threat, but it puts the hill country in a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. So what I was curious about was seeing if there is any type of tornado threat or anything like that, which I don't think there would be given what I was looking at. So no, it looks like it has, this is the tornado threat. Let's see, a 2% tornado risk is listed out in the Western Hill Country. This is for Sunday night into early Monday morning in the Hill Country. So a 2% tornado risk, and it looks like that's kind of broad brushed all the way across. So now let's look ahead. And see what the hail risk is, and this is again for Sunday. So the hail risk is a 5% risk of large hail, and that would be 1 inch in diameter or greater. Brian's cold. Bob, you have a great night as well. Hanson, you're very welcome. My pleasure. Thank you for hanging out, for putting up, and for sticking around. So this then is the hail threat, which is the same as the wind threat. So the threat of large hail and the threat of damaging wind are both the 5% range. So that'll be worth looking at. And then finally, the day 3 threat, which is the Monday threat. And on Monday, we are in the marginal risk of severe thunderstorms from basically I-35 in Austin points south and west to the Rio Grande. So for Monday, you can see that basically Texas is the only area under a severe risk, and that's this zone right in here. This entire stretch in here is just thunderstorms possible and not necessarily severe thunderstorms. So yeah, that'd be worth watching and, you know, seeing how everything progresses as we get a little bit closer. Another thing I was going to check into is to see if we have been put into any excessive rainfall outlooks, and it looks like we have. So let me go ahead and remove this severe weather outlook. And let me go ahead and move to show you the Hydrologic Outlook. And this comes from the Weather Prediction Center. And basically this means the possibility of flooding. So in green, that is a marginal risk, which is a low, you know, in fact, very low risk. And then in yellow, that is a slight risk. So that's a slightly higher potential of seeing some flooding. And again, we're looking at potential for some pretty good substantial rain if things play out just so. So anyway, now I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys again for staying up, and I think I'm going to sleep easier tonight knowing that I at least made some progress. If you're okay with the fact that every time you post something it says it 3 times, I'm okay with that too. I have no idea why it does that, but anyway, a few more things I can try to tweak, but overall I think we're in a good spot. Speaking of in a good spot, this little guy, he's in a good spot. He just curls up. He's the cutest thing ever. Hence, his computer is more than likely change. But of course, yeah, I'm so amazed, by the way, that so many of you at this late hour were like, yeah, I'm awake. So thanks. It was fun. And have an awesome weekend. And whatever you have planned, I hope it goes well. And then we'll probably revisit the whole storm thing. I have a hunch, even if we don't necessarily have bona fide severe weather, if we have heavy rain that's coming down with like some spots getting 2, 3, 4 inches, it's going to be a busy Monday and potentially a busy Sunday night as well. So you can always watch CBS Austin. Austin Burks, our weekend meteorologist, will be in Saturday and Sunday. I'll have your latest updates. And as always, you can go to cbsaustin.com/weather. And as we end this thing and I don't do any more talking, you get to hear the end music as well. Take care, you guys. Good night. Thanks for staying up so late.